Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tings. All right, I want to ask some questions this evening because there are things you have to be very careful of. All right, so I want to ask a question. Because I've heard now that the government has publicized an email where you, the public, and you hear news that you believe not to be true, you can report them to this email. I'm hearing that the Minister of Home Affairs would have been the person who would have spoken about this email, where you can refer to after an incident with the Prime Minister. So I'm wondering now, if this email is up and running, can we also report when ministers tell lies? I mean, I heard that a minister tell lies in court a day. Can we report that too? Can we report that as misinformation? Asking a question. Don't know. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Asking a question. Next thing. Is it true that there is an outbreak of COVID in the Barbados Prison Service? Now, we're not hearing about it. Remember, but if you have people who are in prison, because when they go into prison, they put them in a place called isolation for a couple of weeks. Then they come out into the general population or whatever, if they're remanded or whatever. Where would they catch COVID from? They're there within an isolated environment. Who would bring in COVID to give them? You thinking the same thing I think? The only one could bring it in is the officers, huh? And why is it then that people who do not have COVID cannot go to court? Because I'm hearing that a guy was supposed to be freed yesterday. Even though he does not have COVID, he was around people who have COVID. And they waited all the afternoon to swap him. But he missed his chance to go home. Is this true? Asking a question. I don't know. Anyway, next thing. We have a new Minister of Crime Prevention. I understand it's the Honorable Mr. Kurt Humphrey. But since he has taken over, there has been a major upsurge in crime. Have you, because I don't know, I don't hear everything, I don't see everything. Have y'all heard him comment on it? Have y'all heard him say, well, listen, we are going to do such and such and such? Or have you heard him put in place certain programs relevant to alleviating this scourge that is now attacking Barbados so seriously? I spoke to a guy from England the other day, and he told me that the white people going back up in England and speaking about Barbados and they're fighting to come back. Oh, they got a lot of shootings in Barbados here. No, I'm hearing also they're making comparisons to Jamaica. Barbados is 10 times smaller than Jamaica. The population is 10 times less. You understand? And if you look at Barbados and make the comparisons, we are in the same bracket right now. You remember Marcus Garvey said that eventually Barbados will get just as bad as Jamaica, but it seems to be being very prophetic. All right? And the next thing, going back to the Barbados Prison Service. If it is said that they do not have money to pay the officers, the prison officers, for the overtime they did from all the times of COVID, or they don't have enough money to pay the persons who acted as sergeants or the officers, where they get the money from to bring in 2 electric vehicles worth approximately $250,000? Could you tell me this? I mean, for the Barbados Prison Service, you know. I would like to know. I don't know. Remember, Andy Sharpest knife in the drawer? I would love to know. Next, is it true that Sir Winston Scott Polyclinic is the only health institution that has the necessary equipment to test for tuberculosis? If this is true, right, why is it then that I'm hearing that some people were tested for tuberculosis, a nurse included, and they took everybody in one room and gave them the results for everybody to hear? And why is it that the person who tested positive was the nurse and still allowed to sit there among people? Isn't tuberculosis contagious? I asking, I don't know. I ain't shiny, so I don't know. There's some funny things going on here in Barbados, right? And we need to really take stock of what is happening. Because there are a lot of things going on that are questionable. And they don't make sense. I know that 2 and 2 is supposed to be 4. But if I get 2 and 2 coming as 5, I know that's something wrong. You understand me? And this, where these things are concerned, something really, really, really wrong, you know. Something is really, really, really wrong. No. I want to look at the fact that there are parts of Barbados that the people don't pay any attention to. There are parts of Barbados where you have to call and ask them to come and look at the drainage, or come and deal with a burst main for the Barbados Water Authority, or come and pick up garbage. Or do you live in any of these vicinities? If you do, message me and let me know, please. If you live in any of those vicinities where you have to call and beg people and plead with people. No, there's a lesson I want you all to learn. I want you all to know something. And this is politics. This is politics I'm talking about. Right? I'm going to say this because I do not belong to any political party, nor will I belong to any political party. But if I find that somebody truly has the people's interests at heart, and they're genuine and sincere and honest, I will back them. I don't care if they belong to B, D, whatever party, I will back that person, because I'm not political, but I am for the people. Now, there's something within the political arena that I have noticed, and I noticed this from years back through a great man, a grassroots politician by the name of Hamilton Lashley. I have noticed that political parties have a hierarchy. They will act as if they've included you, a person whom they believe can win a seat in a constituency. And they will groom you, and they will take you out and allow you to, you know, socialize with them and stuff. But from the time you get in, a lot of dirty tactics are used and employed to keep you down. And if you don't toe the line, they do things to you that are really, really, really disgraceful. And you will never believe that this is a fraternity that you've been with, that you happen to represent, and you're supposed to be one of them. There's a hierarchy, and there's some people who believe that certain people should not be allowed to have portfolios. You understand me? There's a hierarchy. All right? And you would have noticed it here the other day with one of the people in the Barbados Labour Party. I noticed it with the DLP. I noticed it with certain parties, that there's a hierarchy. And even if you get in and you win a seat, they treat you like riffraff because they believe you have to have a certain class, go to a certain school, associate with certain people to be part of that hierarchy. You understand? I want you people in Barbados to understand this. Understand exactly what he's saying here. Hamilton Lashley is a perfect example. He can speak to you about it. Any of you who know him, ask him. You understand? He was prophetic when he told a certain person certain things that would happen to them. And the person was able to see these things for themselves. Alright? Because they believe that certain people are not entitled to certain things. Anyway, I can leave you with that, right? I want you to question what is happening here in Barbados. I want you to look at what is happening around you. And I want you to, instead of hearing the committees and everybody talking and the rhetoric and, oh, we need to do this and we have this committee for this and that, and talk. Tell the people we don't want something tangible to do. We want to see this here. We ain't want to talk about it. Do it. You understand? If not, Barbados is going to get so bad that when we look, we ain't got no tourists, we ain't got no industry, we can be frightened even to go up on a day, even to walk through town. I tell you, it can get really, really bad. Anyway, that's me for the day. I hope you guys keep your spirits up, keep your tempers down, and always, each and every day, do something good for somebody today. Okay? Have a good one.